Brakathia Howell, Brakathia Shai, Brakathia Howell, Brakathia Shai, Brakathia Howell, Brakathia Howell, Bahashim Shai, Bahashem, Gakudash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone True Well. Salutations to the whole elect out there, you Akim, Tazadakim, that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. On the pre-Shaman, this to the point is going to be on Genesis, the 28th chapter and the 40th verse. And pretty much the inspiration for the show comes from this YouTube page called Girls with Guns. And it's pretty much, some beautiful Edomite women cocked up in different positions, all provocative, and shooting guns, man. Shooting arrows, shooting guns, different caliber guns. And, look, you Negroes out there, you shooting the gun sideways and stylish. These so-called white women, they shooting this thing with perfection, man. I wonder who they voting for. Anyways, pretty much the so-called white man's blessing was the sword, instrument of destruction, man. Whether it be a biological warfare, but primarily they like guns, man. They like guns and hunting. And just to prove that it's a nation, it don't stop at just the men, the women too, man. This is their spirit. And as the apostle of Tahar said, if this race riot thing was to go down, Edomites are far more prepared than Jake, man, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, in terms of how to use guns, how to camp out, how to hunt their actual food, how to go off the grid, so to speak, man. That's in their nature. That's their blessing. Anyways, this is Genesis. Let's see. Let's start at 28. Man, I had to read the whole chapter, but it's to the point. Well, pretty much, I'll just sum up what happened. Jacob, put on sheepskin to be hairy like his brother. Isaac, his father was, going blind, could barely see, so he pretended to be his brother Esau, supplanted for the blessing, because he was not the firstborn. Esau was the firstborn, and Isaac gave him the blessing of the firstborn, which was set up in the spirit. So then Esau comes back and finds out what happens. Verse 34, Genesis 28:34. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me even also my father, because the blessing has already gone to Jacob, which is the kingdom. And he said, Thy brother came with subtlety, because that's his name. Jacob, Yaiquab, means supplanter, an omen nomen, and hath taken away thy blessing. And he said, Isn't and look, man, Esau is still pissed off to this day about this. The elites that know about this is why they like to take out their anger on you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. Alright, it's in their spirit. And he said, It is not right, is not he rightly named Jacob? For he has supplanted me these 2 times, not one but twice. He took away my birthright, and behold, because in another account, Esau, not having any faith, sold his birthright for porcelain meat. So the right of the firstborn, we got it, and then we got the blessing of the firstborn twice. And that was all the Mosai doing that. Now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, Hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And You know, if you could receive it, Isaac was Yahweh Shai. So this blessing that was given to us, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, was given by Yahweh Shai himself, man. Slakia. It says, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. So he was crying for this blessing, man. So Isaac gave it to him. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. Because these so-called white people, all the way going back to the Greeks, the Romans. You look up that statue, man, in the book of Daniel, the so-called white man makes up a bulk of it, man. Makes up a bulk of it. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and the dew of heaven from above. You know, Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Now we've seen who gave it to him. How about Shem Yahushua? So everything is to fulfill prophecy, Isaiah 55:11. Okay, now verse 40 says, and by, this is to the point now, and by the sword shalt thou live. Now there's videos on here. I was scrolling through some of them. This one video, this chick said she had an addiction. She said something about addiction, man. I couldn't find it. Look at this, how to conceal, how to look good and conceal. Hey, man, she's got Edomite shooting, and they could deal with the cold. You know, shooting off a magazine and a brick cold. Conceal and carry. There's this one video, though. I can't find it, man, but pretty much, this Edomite woman, she was just buying a shit ton of guns. She said she was addicted to it, man. Addicted to buying guns. Now, you know, you Jakes out there, you shooting and killing one another and shooting the gun sideways. They practice it, man. For the love of it. You know? So that's the day, girls with guns. I don't see a lot of the Negro, Latino, Native American women on here. You know? They making other videos like shaking their ass. It says, I mean, Edomite women too do that. It says, and by the sword shalt thou live, and shalt, but it's mainly Jacob women that do that. And by the sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. Now, wait a minute. It says he's going to serve us. Now, King David did put you Edomites in subjection. And we did rule over you in you know, Byzantine Empire, certain different rulerships, parts of Rome, the parts of the Holy Roman Empire. All right, but we're not ruling over you now. So what's that telling you? It's saying that our leadership, pursuant to the book of Ezra, 2nd Ezra 6:7-9, our rulership is coming, really, Yahweh Shai rulership, let me say, with us being joint heirs. Look at this. Look at that title, shooting the AR-15 at 60 yards, only missed one shot. Damn. Scriptures never lie, man. It says, and by the sword shalt thou live. Ain't these women living by the sword? And shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And ever since then, as it says in Genesis 41, it says, and Esau hated Jacob, because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning of my father are at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. So, as it says in the book of Zechariah 11:5, you know, they hold themselves not guilty. They slay us day in, day out. There's a perpetual hatred, Ezekiel the 35th chapter says, between Jacob and Esau. And that hatred is a prophetic hatred, man. Nothing you could do, nothing we could do about it. No marching, no getting together. That hatred goes all the way back to the garden. Enmity between thy seed and the serpent seed. You know? But yeah, quick to the point, man. It's not just the men. It's their nation. This is what they into. You know, trading their kids with guns, hunting at a young age. This is their spirit. And if this race riot was to kick right now, The Edomite man, woman, and child, man, they'd have an advantage on Jake, man. In terms of coming against him with the sword. So we don't take that approach. We take a spiritual approach, man. Defend yourself if you must, but we're not gonna take this man down. You must be out your mind. This is his blessing is the sword. How the hell are you gonna beat him with the sword? The only way you're gonna overcome and be delivered is calling upon the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, having faith in that name. He's gonna deliver you, us, Lord willing, in these perilous times to come, man. All right, with that, I'm gonna say Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakakodash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of great mills over true wealth. Shalom, Akim.